Welcome to this episode of YouTube, where we traditionally have some warmer weather in January, in the past called January Thaw, and that's a little bit what we're experiencing. Temperatures are in the high 20s, which for a wolf exhibit is relatively warm, and so we're not seeing a lot of activity, which is always a nice thing for the wolf exhibit. When things are calm, we know that the pack dynamics does not have a lot of issues or strife, and so that's been one thing that we kind of been watching. And Aiden is doing a great job as a pack leader, and so we're very impressed with where he's at physically. His discoid lupus seems to have really kind of settled out. Don't have any pigmentation issues. He's feeling good. He's eating. He's active. And Bolts is starting to come around a little bit, a little less shy, and certainly that means that he's a little more likely to test his status a bit. And so we're seeing that with Bolts and just watching him be extremely alert as to what's going on with the other males in the rank order. So if Aiden is showing a little vulnerability, he's right there. If Denali's a little excited and Aiden's dominating Denali, he's not too far behind. And obviously Luna, like I said, we have Luna's the only female, so she doesn't deal with the rank order as much. She still does dominate all of the males, but her main focus is food and food possession. Luna seems to be the most obsessed about food, and when we do feed a carcass, she's likely to be the one that's on it. And so we see a little bit of dynamics, like I say, food-related dynamics, a little bit of dominance dynamics, but for the most part, they're really getting along quite well and not having any issues within the pack structure or having any, what I consider to be incompatibility issues. Like I said, the pack is active. There's certain times of the day when they typically are more active. We do see that morning stimulus from the wolf care staff, and then that later in the day, about that 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock range is when they kind of pick up. And so we are still offering wolf watch programs and photographer only opportunities. And if you check our website at wolf.org and look at visit, you'll see the program list. We are adding a few webinars because we've been feeding quite a bit. We're having some opportunities to maybe add some enclosure enrichment to the webinar schedule, giving people more of an option to watch during the day, or if you're overseas, to maybe watch in a normal time versus when we broadcast over here in the States at night, and that results in odd viewing time for those visitors and viewers from overseas. So we want to make sure we try to accommodate everybody's opportunity to learn from these ambassador wolves, and so that's one of the reasons why we're doing webinars. Plus, as we said, we are a nonprofit organization, so any opportunities we have to generate revenue is going to be beneficial to all wolves, and including our retirees. That's one thing that we do here at the center, is that just because the wolves are no longer on display doesn't mean that they don't get the best care. And so when we look at Grizzer, who's our only retiree right now, obviously food resources are important the older you get, and Grizzer's demonstrating here how much he likes having deer scraps as well as various other forms of meat. We do feed beaver. We also, for these older animals, will have a higher concentration of beef in the middle of a feeding, and so that's one of the important things for the older wolves. And Grizzer's going to demonstrate a face wipe here, and that face wipe again is a cleaning behavior, grooming behavior after feeding on a meal. So Grizzer, like I said, being alone, it's not our best case scenario. We certainly recognize that wolves are social pack animals, but when Grizzer's situation is such that his behavior and his antagonistic tendencies towards the other wolves make it safer for him to be by himself. And so one of our jobs in the wolf care program is obviously stimuli, making sure that Grizzer's stimulated to interact, and that may mean food, that may mean staff time, it may mean resources. We also know that as an older animal ages, they've got a little bit more ambient weather condition issues, and Grizzer is one of those wolves who does have a little bit of ice buildup on his paws. Unfortunately, he allows us to clean those, and that's one of the benefits of working with socialized wolves, so that we can make sure that we address all of his metabolic needs. And so with that, again, it's a shorter YouTube this week. We want to Again, welcome anyone to check out our program page and see what's going on. We've got lots of activities and lots of opportunities to view the wolves remotely or on site or through any of our number of adventure programs that we have offered during this winter season. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.